Hey guys, today we're talking about two movies. The first one is American Fiction, is directed and written, I think, by Cord Jefferson, and this movie tells the story of a writer that has always wanted to write a big novel, but his novels are not really doing that well selling to any publisher, less even selling in a bookstore. And he's a professor, and he's a little bit like sour with life because he hasn't met reach the levels of fame he would want, and not only that but of accomplishment. And he feels that others really have become famous and become big because they write about the stereotypes that are associated with black people in the United States. They write about drugs, about gangs, about slavery, about suffering, about police brutality, about so many things that are attached to black people. And he's like, I don't want to write about that. I just want to write about anything that I want, and the characters may or may not be black, and I just want everything to stop being that, basically. And he gets fed up with when a fellow writer publishes another one of these books that are about rape and drugs and all of that, and he has had it, and out of anger and wanting to do something like ironic, he writes a novel just like that. And lo and behold, he is actually very successful in selling it and publishing it, and it's a very successful, a bestseller, basically. So he's very surprised by that. On the other hand, he is dealing with a lot of issues around his family, with his mom, with his sister, with his brother. His father has passed away, and it was a very important figure for him, but not as big of an important figure for his siblings. And he discovers many things about his life and about himself in this movie. I think that this movie is very well written. I mean, the first thing that you feel when you're watching American Fiction is that it's very well written. It is based on a book, but I think it's a very successful adaptation into a cinema. It really works because at some points you feel that they are talking to you directly, basically, and they do. At the end of the movie, that kind of happens at some point, and that's very entertaining because that really flips around what the person that watches the movie is supposed to be doing. I mean, normally you're only there to watch the movie, but in this movie and movies like this, they really invite you to be a part of the movie, be a part of what the characters are going through, basically. And it's very interesting. So I think that the writing, of course, is the best thing around, and I do think that it has everything to win the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay over Oppenheimer and Barbie, which, although I think they are very good adaptations of a material previously existing, I think that Oppenheimer is a little bit too over the place, I think, and maybe at some points the screenplay is not that creative per se. And Barbie, it's not really adapted, it's kind of original, and it's different. It's too different, and I think American Fiction just fits the category to a T, basically. So I think that's the best thing. I also think that Jeffrey Wright as the main character is really good casting. He's fantastic, and Jeffrey Wright has been a fantastic actor for a long time now. I remember him particularly from Westworld, and in Westworld he was just amazing. So I think he's a very good actor, and I do hope that many more things come his way. Of course, the movie is also nominated for Best Picture. It's nominated for Best Score, which is actually a very subtle but a very effective score. I really like it. It's very interesting, and I think they have one or two other nominations for Sterling K. Brown, who plays the gay brother of the main character, which I take a little bit of offense to because, I don't know if you know this, but there are gay actors. I mean, it's really wild. And actually, this is even crazier. This year, you have a gay black actor nominated in the Academy in the category of actor in a leading role, which is Coleman Domingo for Rusting. I mean, that movie was beautiful, and I don't think I'm going to do a review on that movie, but that movie is really good. It's on Netflix, and he is a gay black actor. So why they exist? So why not hire a gay black actor to portray this character that, to be honest, is not really well written. I mean, which is kind of, it defeats what I said before. I mean, the character as it is, it's kind of interesting, but what they have him do in the movie, it's just like a contraposition, a juxtaposition to what the main character is going through, and his personality. His brother is there to provide like the opposite end, basically. And I do understand that, but it's kind of boring, and to be honest, it's one of the least interesting performances in that category. So I think it's great for Sterling K. Brown that he's Academy Award nominated, but don't expect a win from him, because this is not his best work. I mean, I've seen him doing much better in many other things. This wasn't it, basically. But I do appreciate a lot Jeffrey Wright. All the other actors are really fantastic. Issa Rae, and I think that actress Tracy Ellis Ross, who is of course daughter of Diana Ross. She's always fantastic in everything she does. She's a really good actress. Cord Jefferson has a great screenplay again, and a fine directing, to be honest. And again, the score is really nice. I don't know if it will win, but it's very intentional, and you know, it really plays with the movie. So I really like that. The second movie I'm going to talk about is Past Lives. This is a movie, again, director wrote the screenplay. In this occasion, it was Celine Song, and she wrote the screenplay about a woman that when she's very little, she's 12, I think, living in South Korea. She likes this boy in her classroom, but she doesn't really know that her family is going to move to Canada actually very soon. So her family is like, okay, just go around and have a date with that boy, because you probably are not going to see him ever again, so let's create memories for you, basically. So she does that. They move to Canada, and many years later, like 12 years later also, they reconnect through Skype, through online, which is very interesting. I mean, there's a lot of the movie, like half of the movie or more, is actually characters playing each other through a computer, which is very interesting. It's something new. It's really modern, which I really appreciate. And then they meet again several years later when they are in their 30s, maybe. She's married. He has had a girlfriend, but it didn't work out. I mean, they really meet on and off again. And it is kind of a story about young love, but also the story of people just doubting themselves and not knowing if this is it, or if they have to wait, or, you know, that uncertainty that people go through in life, basically. The screenplay again was written by Celine Song. It's an original screenplay. It is nominated for Best Original Screenplay and Best Picture, and I have to agree that this is maybe one of the best original screenplays of 2023. It is beautifully written. I mean, everything they say and how the movie feels. Actually, there are many silences, and there are many moments in which the main character, portrayed by Greta Lee, is just feeling and watching and experiencing. She doesn't really talk. I mean, there's only one big talking scene at the end of the movie, and that scene plays very, very well, because it's like they're letting go of so many things that they have inside, and that's why it's effective, because it has been kind of silent, or, you know, not many words for a long time, and then they just let everything go. So it really works like that. Of course, the juxtaposition between South Korea and Canada and the United States, because she moves to New York City when she's older, and you know, the character, I mean, there are mainly just three characters. It's the main character, which is the woman portrayed by Greta Lee. Then it's her you know, young friend from South Korea, which is portrayed by two different actors, when he's very young and when he's older, and he's her husband, I mean. And those are the three characters in the movie. There's not really anyone else in the whole movie, like many extras maybe, but that's it. So I think it's very effective, because they play only with three characters, and they put them in different places, and it's really beautiful. However, I have to say that the movie doesn't work for me from the get-go, because I don't feel in the modern era, basically, how someone could have fallen in love, basically, with someone for that long. And actually, if you analyze the movie, it's not that he's in love with her for such a long time. I think he's more like infatuated with the idea of what it could have been. And there's an idea, a Korean idea. I think it's in Yunin, something like that. I'm sorry if I'm not saying it correctly, but it's the idea that the people that you have in your life, you have been connected to them in your other lives in many other ways. Maybe your mother in this life, for example, was your best friend in some other life, or maybe she was your cobbler in another life, or maybe she was like just a lady that lived near you in some other life. So like those connections that have to work out through different generations, different lives, in order to finally be one with the other, like the person you have to be with forever, basically, or for that life at least. I think it's a really nice thing, and it's really romantic. It's a really effective movie in the romance part of it all. But I think that if you think a lot about the philosophical part of it, I think it really falls apart a little bit, because I personally don't believe in things like faith or things like there's one person in the universe for you. I think that's just ridiculous, to be honest. I think it's like saying that there's no life anywhere in the universe. It's like maybe we'll never meet an alien, but there certainly some are somewhere. Even if it takes billions and billions and billions of light years to get here, even if they're that far away, they exist. I think that, that's my belief. So that's kind of what I felt with this movie. Like, yes, I can appreciate the young love, and I can appreciate that she doubts, and they are both thinking like, what if I had chosen another thing? And it is very valid. You always think that in your life. But I think they go a little bit too far with those philosophical, almost theological things in the movie. I think that's a little bit out of my comfort zone in a way. Like I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe in faith. I don't believe in that one person. So that's why it's not really effective for me, and that's why the final really scene in the movie, it's kind of annoying to me, because I don't think it really means anything. I think it's a little bit silly. Although, again, Celine Song did a nice, cute picture, and I do think she deserves that nomination for Best Original Screenplay. Maybe she will win, maybe she won't. I think it might be the strongest movie in that category. I have to really remember that. But the adapted category is much more stronger. But I have to say that I don't understand why it was nominated for Best Picture. I think that the Academy sometimes wants to include everyone. So they want an Asian movie, a black movie, a gay movie, an animated movie. They kind of want to check boxes. And I think that doesn't really work if it feels that forced. And I think in the case of Past Lives, it feels forced. Even Greta Lee should have been nominated in the leading actress category, instead of the movie being nominated for Best Picture. I personally think it. Or even Celine Song as director. But the Best Picture nomination doesn't really sit well for me. And to be honest, I don't think Greta Lee should have been nominated for an Academy Award. I think it's okay that she wasn't there, because she doesn't have that strong scene. She doesn't really have that special thing that you feel with these actresses, that they have something, and it's not about energy, it's about something else, like a spice, so something that makes you go like, oh, that she plays that really well. Yeah, she's really good in this movie, and I hope she has a lot of work out of it, but I don't think she was worth the nomination, to be honest. But I'm glad for that original screenplay nomination. And those are the two movies I'm going to talk about today. Thank you so much for watching. You can watch those movies. I think they're available on digital right now, so go and see them. And thank you so much. Goodbye. Comment down below what you think. Goodbye.